The following is for entertainment purposes only. We are not financial advisors. We are not responsible for any losses, only the profits.
What's happening, Octo family? We're going to take a look at some Bill Ackman SPAC and Mr. Clock himself, PSTH ticker. We finally got some news. I'm glad it's just over with. However, clash of WSB Wall Street bets on Twitter. Asked Mr. Patrick Collison, the founder of Stripe, congrats on the PSTH deal. We will be one of the most loyal retail investors, definitely 10-year plus hold. What does Mr. Patrick Collison finally come out and admit? What did he come out of the closet and say? At the top of his lungs, no such deal. What? If you've been following the channel, you know that he's been tagging us along lying for a long time. They've been like, him and his brother have been making fake stories about PSTH and how buying this, that, following people doing deal diligence, yada, yada, yada. Totally leading people on. I'm not happy about it. I don't really care about the Stripe. That's fact. He's going to get someone fined anyway, right? I'm cool with that. But the fact that he led people on is what I'm not cool with. That makes me upset. Mr. Daniel Harrington, he wrote him and said, I'm intrigued. How come it's taken so long to deny this? It's been going on for months, fueled even further, in my opinion, by the management at Stripe. Surely it would have just been easier to say it's not happening and simply move on. Right? You know, you're going to have someone like me that even if and when Mr. Patrick decides to go on the stock market now, I don't care. I will not invest in Stripe. Just going to move on from it, right? I don't like what he did. Leading people on. I don't like it. Who could PSTH still grab, though? How about Fidelity? Yeah, Subway. Y'all like ham sandwiches? I like ham sandwiches. I just hope it's not Subway. Bloomberg, that could be okay. Menards. You ever seen Menards? It's a grocery store / Target in one. Y'all been there? Could be that, but I don't know. He said he doesn't want to compete with himself, but they always say way too much. He technically is big on Lowe's. He's also big on Burger King. He loves them Whoppers. The Whopper Juniors, actually, I found out. Bill Ackman loves them Whopper Juniors, but I don't know. Fidelity, Bloomberg, what else we got? How about this? How about an article that came out today, right before this, right before Mr. Collison? It said online lender SOFI explores deal to go public, sources said. Online lending group Social Finance Inc., SOFI, has held discussions with a blank check acquisition companies and about a deal and a debut on the stock market with people familiar with the matter because the secretary told them. All right. Discussions show that the going public in Solidity, the sites of SOFI's CEO Anthony Noto, a former Goldman Sachs, remember that, Inc. investment banker and tweeter, ex-chief operating officer. Noto succeeded SOFI's co-founder Mike, who stepped down in 2018. Noto said last year that going public was in the company's long-term plans, but had cautioned it was not a priority until they want the money. The San Francisco-based company, which was valued at $4.8 billion, let's remember that, in a private fundraising round last year, has held talks with numerous SPACs. Plural. Getting those SPAC offs, remember? People are fighting for the golden unicorns, which is fine. All we really care about is people getting a golden unicorn. Do valuations really matter? Do we really care? I don't. I just want the stock to go up. When do they go up? When they're cool. That's it. The sources requested not to be named because the secretary and they don't want to be fired. Founded in 2011, SOFI capitalized on the retrenchment of banks from large swaths of consumer lending in the aftermath of 2018 financial crisis. It started with refinancing student loans and expanding into mortgages and personal loans. Has anyone used SOFI or ever heard of it? Is it cool? Is it bad? Let me know. SOFI has raised over $3 billion in capital, according to PitchBook. Its financial backers include private equity firm Silver Lake and billionaire investor Peter Thiel. Can someone name a SPAC I was talking about buying Sunday by Mr. Peter Thiel? He was saying Southeast Asia. Would he pivot for a unicorn? I'd pivot. People pivot every single SPAC, right? Why not? But who could bring SOFI? Who would make sense? Look up your own tickers. Always don't just blind buy these ever. Fusion Acquisition, Mr. SPY ETFs himself, Mr. SPY. FTOC, AACQ, IPOF, Mr. Chamath. How about Goldman Sachs SPAC? Remember Goldman Sachs and the relationship we just talked about? You know they're all homies. How about PSTH, Mr. Bill Spackman Ackman? I don't know, because wouldn't that be like all of SOFI? Because PSTH's MERS is like 4.5 billion, right? And what did SOFI say up there? Something like they're valued themselves like 4.8. It's be like a 100% acquisition. I don't think that's going to happen. So even if SOFI doubled what they were worth in a year, that still put PSTH at owning 50% of them. That's kind of a long stretch, but weird things are happening. I mean, maybe they could say they're going to triple that, or they're going to base their earnings on 10 years from now and say they're worth 50 billion. Who knows? It just seems pretty tight right there, because most of the time, as y'all might know, SPACs just get about 10%, let's just call it, of a company going forth. But anywhere close to 50, I don't know about that. I don't know, unless, remember, they were talking about combining, like they could take SOFI and combine it, but I don't know. I don't really see big unicorns like SOFI combining with anyone either. I still see it, do you? Interesting enough, 31 minutes after that article, this just slips on through. Almost like it was perfect timing. Bill Ackman, this is a different article. Bill Ackman could be interested in this particular unicorn. The fact that it's not yet profitable might knock it out of contention before the search has even started. In June, Bill started a SPAC, commissioned to sell as much as 6.5 billion of stock for it. There were several exciting candidates. I'm specifically interested in whether Bill Ackman should invest in Social Finance Inc., SOFI, a fintech company. In the SEC filing, Pershing Square said, over the last decade, numerous high-quality venture-backed businesses have achieved significant scale, market share, competitive dominance, and cash flow. We call these companies mature unicorns. I wonder where we get it. Many of these companies have chosen to remain public. We've gone through that many times, but many might be unfamiliar with SOFI. We talked a little bit about it. If you want to read more, there's more on here. So does SOFI need Ackman to invest in SOFI stock? The company currently has 2.2 billion of available capital and is valued at 4.2 billion. NATO's goal is to make all of the company products profitable. If he's able to do that, SOFI will be profitable overall. Ackman's SPAC is looking to buy a mature unicorn. SOFI meets that criteria. Unfortunately, the fact that Pershing Square Holding desires a company with a proven track record of growth and profitability, all SPACs say that, by the way, two things SOFI doesn't have could prevent Pershing from buying the fintech company. Sure, SOFI recently paid 1.2 billion for Galileo Financial Technologies, a banking and payments as a service platform. We've been successful in debit and payments, SOFI said. The thesis under which we did the combination is taking the SOFI product, wrapping our enterprise API around it, yada yada. NATO believes acquisition ramps up SOFI's level of fintech innovation. I don't know. They didn't even crunch the numbers like I did. They didn't talk about how would it make sense. They'd have to value it at least 2x, 3x, 4x what it was last year. SOFI would still do great though. I don't care. Call it 15 or 20 billion. Just get something that's going to mean. So what do you think? I could definitely see SOFI going with one of those other SPACs first. But even if it's SPAC and Ackman, I'll be fine with that too. I do think it is pretty interesting. Is this one of the first times we've seen multiple big companies come out and blatantly say, oh yeah, Bill Ackman's SPAC, he's been interested in us, but we told him nah. I mean, how many times have there been this much speculation before LOI? There's a reason why I think no matter who they pick, other than something like Chuck E. Cheese, it's going to do pretty well anyway. I ain't worried. It's really not that high. Remember, divide the number in half. If it's at $25 divided by 2, that's $12.50 compared to a normal SPAC. Remember, like Dragoneer was there. IPOP or some of the IPOs, they've been there right about $12.50. So it's not too crazy. It's not trading. I mean, what is it? 27, but it goes back to like 26. It's not that high. It's not that high. We had some broker drama today. Interactive Brokers. All heard of them? I've been talking about them a lot. They're one of the best brokers for early ins. They were down. I remember a month and a half ago, I was talking about how it's very important to have at least 2 to 3 other brokers because stuff like this happens. I remember reading this guy that was with, I think, Fidelity or Charles Schwab or something about a month ago, and he was like, last time they went down, I am so mad, I'm going to Interactive Brokers. So this guy went all in over to Interactive Brokers. What's the problem? He couldn't trade today at all. Have more than one broker, just do it. Exact reasons like this. Can you imagine if all this fun was happening today, people were cashing money, and your broker was down? Wouldn't it be nice if you had 1 or 2 other ones that maybe weren't, and you'd be buying? Something else to pay attention to, more housing data. We have to talk about this. If you want to think macro, which should be, this is just further confirming our thesis. Mr. Redfin, the CEO of Redfin, you heard of that? On the stuff that's happened since March, housing boom. He was saying that this isn't a money grab thing, that why people are moving right now. This is a people getting out of big city thing, which I've brought up many times. The top 5 cities people are moving to are in the United States are Phoenix, Arizona, Sacramento, California, Las Vegas, Nevada, Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia. Again, this is just further pushing this bubble. Now these people are artificially not only inflating California like they did, but now they're artificially inflating all these other markets with the Cali money, right? Out of SoCal to all these other places. So now those other places have competition from the people from LA. Everything comes up. We are sitting at the very close to the top or top of the bubble. Be careful in this industry and pay attention because it will and does affect all stocks. Everything mooned today, did it not? It was one of those freaky days. I get kind of happy, but then I started getting scared. Why? Bonds were up. Dollar was up. Greenleaf stuff was up. SPACs were up. Warrants were up. FinTech was up. EV was up. What wasn't up today? I don't know. Maybe some big cap stuff wasn't up, but a lot of the stuff we talked about was just absolutely mooning. Penny stocks were up today. Those penny stocks were like 50% profit or something. I think a cash out one was like 80% profit today. Everything was. That's where stuff gets funky, is when everything is going up, even the things people go to when they're scared, like such as gold. Gold and silver were going up today too. Oh, Bitcoin going up. Riot Mara going up. When all those are going together, one at least sector is going to have the rubber band effect where someone's going to let go of the rubber band and it's going to come and snap back because they're pulling on each other like this. All right. And one's going to finally let go and it's going to snap. Which one is it going to be? I hope it's precious metals right now. Because it's too fun with these SPACs. What do you think? I hope EV keeps going for another like 2 months at least. Then maybe we'll pivot. You know what? Our patrons rock. I've been telling y'all we've been creating a pretty good community there. We've been getting some information out, stuff. I can only be at so many places at one time. Even right now, I'm missing news, right? Because I'm making this video. However, just a couple days ago, someone let us know about PPSI. hadn't even been on my radar. They had an interesting pop on a lawsuit settlement, holding a small position. There are some at 5.8, assuming it's trading on the news, and we'll go back down. But so CleanSpark, remember CleanSpark PPSI? Go watch my videos on those if you haven't. But that lawsuit, it's good to go now. And we got a link. That's why I love them. They even gave me the link. We got the proof, people. You want it? Come down in the description. Click my website. It's all going to be right here for you. Another person said, hey, dude, this is some great news. Tomorrow, their founder, Mark Bernard, will hold a conference And we're moving on right now to Lion NGA. Tomorrow we're gonna be in a conference. Sweet. So that's when stuff likes to get released. Might get some nuggets out there. Let's try to watch that. I might forget tomorrow. I'll try to save it, but you never know. Also, rumors are that he will confirm where he will settle his company's own battery plant. This is something, we don't exactly know that, right? This is an article, another link we got from Electric Economy of Canada, Lion Electric Battery Factory. More information here if you want to read about that. Lion Electric already received a vast terrain from their city of Saint Jerome for free exactly for this goal. All right, so it sounds like the governments are wanting to help them. The governments are coming in. This is the big push that's happening all around the world. The UK, Canada, United States is even doing it. On all parties are talking green EV stuff. So Lion Electric, dude, big. Remember those catalysts from yesterday's video? If you didn't see it, there's so much information on there. Plays to still keep in mind. They're still good to go. We're still waiting on Casey Neistat. We're still waiting on Mr. Alley Cat for GIC. We're still waiting on that. We've got a lot popping. The charts, it just is what it is. They're just still completely out of whack as far as like the futures and all that. It's like I said, when everything starts running in conjunction with each other, it's like taking a rubber band and pulling it, where it's just it's too tight right now. Why am I telling you that? Take profits. If you're up double digits, you should probably take a little bit of profit. 10%, take a little profit out. Why? Because the snap of a finger, even in pre-market or post-market, the rug can get pulled right from out underneath this. Or maybe your one broker is down, or maybe your two brokers are down conveniently at the same time. I have 4 brokers for a reason. And that's just for stocks, right? For many reasons, but that's one of them, right? Just protect yourself. Make sure you've got some auto sells in too, in the back end. If you haven't joined our Patreon, please do it. It definitely helps out the channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe on the video. And if you wouldn't mind sharing this to your friends, we've got a lot of great plays out there and people are making a ton of money. And I just feel totally blessed to be the one to help distribute it.
Did you know that we give away free silver? Simply leave a comment on the video, and as long as you're in the continental United States, you can be automatically entered to win. Please friend us on Twitter and StockTwits.